Hey everybody, this one is called Passport Felonies. This is actually going to be a pretty short one, so we don't have a lot of material. It's only like about 30 slides. So the one thing that I'm letting everybody know is I'm going to make my exclusive videos available on my website as well as HowTube. HowTube has a problem with they're going through a major upgrade and have been for some time, and they're not answering my emails about what's going on. So for anybody that has paid for a subscription on HowTube, contact me privately and I'll set you up with something on my website. Okay? And so yeah, that's what's going on. HowTube will be back up at some point, and then it'll be better, I'm sure. Anyways, so let's get going. First of all, I'm not a liar. Well, I'm in a lawyer. No, I'm in a liar. You should never take my word for anything. You should always do your own research. I provided references to aid you in your research, but I don't know everything. I'm open to any ideas. Copies of these documents can be found on my website and linked under my recent videos. For a complete set of YouTube videos with private information shares, a DVD with over 100 searchable law dictionaries, and other books and forms, contact me privately at engineerwin@yahoo.com. Donations to support this work are appreciated. I prefer gold or silver coin, but as an extremely less desirable alternative, I can accept the IOUs, the Federal Reserve notes, the forced loans, the securities, the cashapp, gifts, checks, money orders, etc. Send me an email for particulars. I don't trust the government. I don't trust the medical, pharmaceutical, industrial complex. I don't trust the military industrial complex. I don't trust the mainstream media. I don't trust the bankster criminal cabal that owns the government, owns the medical, pharmaceutical, industrial complex, owns the military industrial complex, and owns the mainstream media. And if you call me a conspiracy theorist, I don't trust you. Actually, there was a lady, what was her name? She was a psychologist, and she said that most people that they call conspiracy theorists are actually critical thinkers. And I like that a lot better. So check out my other videos, the Bankster Thieves playlist, Roman Cult playlist, Bankrupt Corporate So-Called Governments, Bar Members 1 through 8, Do-It-Yourself How Not to Volunteer for the Selective Service in the Draft, Martial Laws Here, Do-It-Yourself No Income Tax, Do-It-Yourself Free Mail, Kangaroo Courts 1 through 7, Canada Border Pigs playlist, Bar Members and Their Satanic Connections playlist. So we're going to talk about passports today, and we're going to talk about the biggest reason to have a passport, a U.S. passport in this case. If you get stopped by the military police, you give them a passport for identification, and they usually let you go with no incident, and people have noticed that, and they think that they might be in some database. Maybe you are. I don't know. But one thing is certain, there's other reasons, and we're going to talk about those here, why they don't want to talk to you. And if there is something that goes on, then I would be filing felony criminal complaints against them. Anyways, my contact information, my blog is sovereigntyinternational.wordpress.com. My website is sovereigntyinternational.fyi. My email address is engineerwin@yahoo.com. My YouTube profile, Sovereign Living, still up there. My Facebook community page got deleted. My private group, Sovereignty International, is being deleted. My Freeless private group is called Administrating Your Public Servants, and my Google private group is called Administrating Your Public Servants. Follow me on Steemit at Sovereignty International, on HowTube at Sovereignty International, and on Rumble at Sovereignty International. So this is the front page. You open up the passport, and this is the front page of the passport, and this is very important, and we're going to talk about actually this part right here. And this is English, French, and Spanish. The Secretary of State of the United States of America hereby requests all whom it may concern to permit the citizen/national of the United States named herein to pass without delay or hindrance, and in case of need, to give all lawful aid and protection. So, and that's like very important. We're going to talk about that. So don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to follow me on Steemit. Don't forget at Sovereignty International. Don't forget to like this video on YouTube. Don't forget to click the bell next to the subscribe button so you're notified when there's a new upload. Now Steemit, don't forget to vote and make your comments. This is the front page of the channel. The subscribe button's already been clicked because otherwise it'll be red. The bell, the arrow's pointing at the bell. If you want to get notified of new uploads, then you have to click that bell so it looks like it's vibrating, so you'll be notified. So this is Rules of Land Warfare, 1914 edition, Passport, Safe Conducts, Safeguards, and Cartels. Chapter 7, Section 4, Article 276, page 100. So this is a passport defined. What is a passport? A passport is a written document given to a person or persons by a commander of belligerent forces, authorizing him or them to travel unmolested within the district occupied by his troops. You got to understand that we're under a military occupation. It's the District of Columbia is occupying all the 50 states. Passports are issued by the State Department or similar office in other countries to diplomatic agents and others entering or traveling in foreign countries, which are of the same general character as those issued during war. The latter should, when practicable, have a photograph of the bearer attached. So this is warfare, okay? And you have a passport to travel. So this is Title 18 of the Code of Law for the District of Columbia, which is, they call it United States Code now, but it's really the Code of Law for the District of Columbia. Section 1545. Whoever violates any safe conduct or passport duly obtained and issued under authority of the United States shall be fined under this title, imprisoned not more than 10 years or both. So, think about this. Safe conduct violation. Who would do a safe conduct violation? Would that be me or you? I don't know how I could do a safe conduct violation, but I know how military police could do it all the time, and they do it all the time, especially when you give them a passport. Well, they don't necessarily do it. They seem to be very careful about that, and all of a sudden they don't want to talk to you anymore. And if they did do anything, then you could make big problems here because you could file a felony criminal complaint and get them in Crowbar Hotel for 10 years. Whoever violates any safe conduct or passport duly obtained and issued under authority of the United States shall be fined under this title, imprisoned not more than 10 years or both. I mean, that speaks volumes. That's why they leave you alone. And that's a passport felony. And it's not you that's doing it. It's the military police, because you're everywhere is under a military occupation. And you get a passport and present it for identification, and all of a sudden they don't want to talk to you anymore. It's amazing how that works. You got to understand that you are the enemy. If they're stopping you, then you are the enemy. Okay, you are at war. Build a case against them. Never, ever tell them what's coming. Okay? Sandbag the bastards. It's warfare. You got to understand, it's warfare. Never, ever try to educate them on the side of the road. They don't care. They know the law. They're screened for low intelligence and a propensity for aggressive behavior. So why would you try and do something like that? The chances of you finding an honorable one are slim to none. And if he's honorable, should he be even stopping you? Maybe he's just going to stop you and say, I just wanted to let you know your taillight's out, but I'm going to let you go and have a great day. So there's nothing wrong with that, and that they're going to accidents and helping clean up accidents. That's great. That's what they should be doing. But I just build a case against them and let the FBI go over there and educate them. So my new book is now available, Trump, a True American Patriot or Not. The Mike Blackwell asked me to write the book, and he's there, me and Mike Blackwell, and he hired a company to help us publish the book, and on the back, they wrote this, okay? And I think they nailed it when they wrote this. And it says here, in Trump, a True American Patriot or Not, Glenn Fern and Mike Blackwell reveal the depths of corruption, deceit, and manipulation infesting our political system for hundreds of years, regardless of political affiliation. Read the hard evidence that exposes how our elected officials sold Americans into slavery. Understand the Founding Fathers' true intent when they formed our Republican form of government, when they framed our Republican form of government. Discover the influence of the satanic Roman cult on our politicians and political system. Does Donald Trump want to transfer power back to we the people? In Trump, you will see the great battle that is upon us. And I think they nailed it there. So, anyways, you can order the book from Amazon.com or from my website. It's $40 plus shipping. I prefer you order it from the website, sovereigntyinternational.fyi. Amazon does not provide autographed books. If you want the book autographed, then you're going to have to order from my website. Do you want to know the origins of the deep state and who's behind it? You want to know why it's called the Trump administration? There's nothing that's by accident, folks. Do you want to know what an administration is? Do you want to know how Trump came to be president? He was invited by the military. Do you want to know who owns Congress? Why do you think Nancy Pelosi would get up there and say, we can't read this bill until after we pass it? Maybe because she was doing what the owners told her to do? Do you want to know why they're called law enforcement officers? Maybe because they're enforcing the martial law? Do you want to know how you have become a slave? If you're paying taxes, then they're forcing you to work for them for nothing. Think about it. Do you want to know what the root cause of the War of Independence was? It's the same thing that's going on now. It's in the book. Do you want to know why every president goes to visit the Pope on their first international trip? It's in the book. So Mike Blackwell asked me to write the book, and it took me about 6 weeks because all I did is took a lawsuit and manipulated it and turned it into the book. And then, but he had to babysit me for 6 months to get it ready to publish, and that's why I put his name on the book. But I wrote the book. Excuse me. I don't know how many of you have heard of Jerome Corsi. He's a guy that lives up in the Northeast. He's got a website. He's got a YouTube channel. He's written a bunch of books. He's got a PhD in political science from Harvard. Anyways, there's a YouTube video where Jerome Corsi says that in 2015, 5 generals came to see him, and they said that there was a group of generals in the Pentagon that were going to overthrow Obama. And he said, well, you can do that if you want, but you might want to go talk to Donald Trump first. 3 months later, he gets a phone call. They decided not to overthrow Obama because Donald Trump had agreed to run for president. So that's how Trump got to be president. So there's this book, because I took a lawsuit and manipulated it, it's 95% provable facts, but there is a little bit of opinion. And my opinion is, I don't know how many of you remember Howard Hughes, how he was hiding out all the time. Well, my opinion is that all these billionaires get approached by the New World Order crowd and get told you're going to go along with our program or you're going to turn up dead. I don't know if you remember that Warren Buffett went to see Bill Gates one time, and all of a sudden he donated $5 billion to the Gates Foundation. And what do you think happened there? And I think that Bill Gates told him he was going to go along with the program or he's going to turn up dead, because now there's a bit of a falling out happening, and Warren Buffett doesn't want to have anything to do with him. So I guess we'll see. You know, that's all I can say. I mean, it's just, you know, me and you, we're just pawns in a big game of chess. We just have to look around and be aware and think critically and see what's going on and put 2 and 2 together. Anyways, I'm a bit of a student of the law, and so I use the law too. And it's amazing when you start looking in the court cases and all that stuff. And the thing about court cases is that, lies and stuff like that can get into the courts, but most of that stuff is provable facts. And so, anyways, I think Donald Trump was approached too. And there was a helicopter crash in 1984 where 3 of his executives got killed. And I think that he was approached then, and I think that and the reason I think that is because that helicopter crashed for a reason that I have never, ever, ever heard of a helicopter crashing. In Vietnam, they would have helicopters that had 4 feet of their blade shot off, and they would still fly. And if you're getting shot at, you're going to fly that helicopter regardless. Who cares about the bad vibration? And so, but this helicopter crashed because the blades fell off. Okay, they came off. And I have never, ever heard of that. Helicopters crash for a lot of different reasons. And maybe a tail rotor drive shaft bearing seizes and the tail rotor doesn't go, and then the helicopter starts spinning and crashes. And so, they crash for a lot of reasons, but I have never, ever, ever heard of the blades falling off. And in fact, those pins, the blades, they're all life limited. And so those are carefully calculated to make sure that they're not going to fail. And then when they get close to even thinking about failing, they replace them. Anyways, now as far as David Wilcock is concerned, there was a YouTube video with David Wilcock where he says that after World War II, Howard Hughes got blackballed. And he couldn't get any defense contracts. And I don't know, you remember that Howard Hughes built the Spruce Goose and sitting in Long Beach Harbor right now. He did a bunch of things. He was heavily involved as a defense contractor during World War II. And all of a sudden, he couldn't get any contracts. And so he wanted to find out why. And so he went and got some young ladies to go and sleep with the military-industrial complex types and find out from Pillow Talk what was going on. And that's when he found out that they were planning on doing what they're doing right now. They wanted to have either World War III or World War IV, depending on which one you want to call it, or they wanted to have a pandemic, okay? And they certainly tried to have a pandemic here a couple of years ago. And what happened is Howard Hughes decided he made up some manuals and procedures on how to put a stop to it. And Kennedy was implementing that stuff. And remember, Kennedy circulated $6 billion worth of U.S. Treasury notes. And a week before he got killed, he came out and said that he was going to expose it all. And and they killed Kennedy, they killed his brother, they killed a bunch of other people at the time. So I think that that's why Howard Hughes was hiding out. Remember, Howard Hughes was hiding out all the time. I think that he figured that he was on their list because they must have seen the stuff that he'd published. Anyways, again, this is all my opinion, and you have to come to your own conclusions. But this is some of the stuff that I have in the book. There's very little opinion in that book, though. It's 95% provable facts. In reality, they're not after me. They're after you. I'm just in the way. So rebellion to tyrants is obedience to God. It's time to get unplugged, folks. Rebellion to tyrants is obedience to God. The definition of tyranny, okay? Tyranny is the exercise of power beyond right, which nobody can have a right to. And this is making use of the power anyone has in his hands, not for the good of those who are under it, but for his own private, separate advantage. When a governor, however entitled, makes not the law, but his will the rule, and his commands and actions are not directed to the preservation of the properties of his people, but to the satisfaction of his own ambition, revenge, covetousness, or any other irregular passion. 'Tis a mistake to think that this fault only in monarchies. Other forms of government are liable to it as well as that. For wherever the power that is put in any hands for the government of the people and the preservation of their properties is applied to other ends and made use of to impoverish, harass, or subdue them to the arbitrary and irregular commands of those who have it, there it presently becomes tyranny, whether those that use it are one or many. And that's written by John Locke. This is what the Founding Fathers were reading, folks. This is what we should be reading. We should understand this stuff so well. And it's amazing how that stuff has kind of disappeared, hasn't it? John Locke, 2 Treatises of Government, Book 2, Chapter 18, Section 199 and Section 201. Tyranny. I've got a subscription channel, but I'm going to put it back on my website at sovereigntyinternational.com. .fyi, I'm sorry, sovereigntyinternational.fyi. There's 2 subscription levels, and I can accept cryptocurrencies, credit cards, Cash App, and Zelle. The basic subscription level is $59.99 a year. The platinum subscription level is $89.99 a year for videos plus unlimited email consultations. But I'm not a liar. Well, I'm in an attorney. No, I'm in a liar. But I can tell you what I would do under certain circumstances and where to find the forms. The only power that these New World Order Satanists have over us is through fraud and deception. My agenda is to expose it for all our benefit, but I cannot fight all the battles. I need other people knowing what to do and how to do it. And you know, if there's anything, is you never, ever tell them what's coming. Okay, it's warfare. Okay, you got to understand it's warfare. You don't want them to prepare for what's coming. You want to sandbag them in a way that they'll never forget. Anyways, and I've got some pretty good ways of doing that too, let me tell you. It's in my videos. Watch my videos. Some of my exclusive content is an Arlington private information share, my land deed training, my estoppel certificates training, my foreclosure estoppel certificates training, my corporate denial training, my toll roads notice and demand training, my invoice training, notice of void judgment training, revocation of signature training, third-party witness training, federal habeas corpus training, revocation of voter registration, criminal complaint training. I've got about 3 videos on that, and I'm going to be putting more because I've really started to get a good procedure for that. So there's going to be more on that. Lawsuit training, I got 1 video on that, and I probably need to do more. Other training requests, if it's something I can do, if it's something I haven't already done, I would certainly consider it. Northeast private information share videos. There's a bunch of those that are up there. Upcoming petition for writ of mandamus. So that's one of the things that's coming up. It's probably going to be when that HowTube comes up, because most of these videos right now are on YouTube and they're private. And I don't want to upload any more of these private videos to YouTube. And there's actually some good ones on HowTube already, and I can't play them because HowTube is so screwed up. So, you know, I'm hoping they get their act together. And if necessary, I'll start uploading them to YouTube and making them private, making them available for the subscribers only. Maybe that's what I need to do. Anyways, but I can upload videos taken down by YouTube. That's what I was using HowTube for. And YouTube took a bunch of my videos down. And then there's first views of all new uploads, and that's what I was going to plan on doing that too. All forms, files, and other instructions are available for free, linked in my videos and on my website. All exclusive content will be on Sovereignty International. So once we get things rolling, then I will notify my subscribers that are on my website and let them know that the HowTube is back up. But I can't control the HowTube and the payment or anything like that. And so I have no control over that. They collect the money, they take their cut, and they send me what's left. So I don't know. I have no control over that. I cannot set up a subscription. I can't do anything. I can do that stuff on my website, but I can't do that on HowTube. Anyways, so my website will always be there for those who want it, and keep paying the subscription fee, and it'll be there. and so that'll be no problem. It's just that what happens is what I did is I told my webmaster to when people click on the subscription videos link that it takes them to HowTube, and I recently just told them to put it back on my website because HowTube is just not cooperating, and so I don't know how long or when they're going to be up and ready. But you can still, as long as you have an active subscription on my YouTube channel, or I should say on my website, that you'll always be able to, as long as you keep paying the subscription there, then you'll have it. And the only thing is that some of the videos won't be on YouTube. That'll be on HowTube. And so anyways, for what that's worth. Rebellion to tyrants is obedience to God. America needs God. We certainly need God right now. It's going to get really, really ugly really soon. It's already getting pretty bad. And so we need to start repenting. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Rebellion to tyrants is obedience to God. The New World Order will require that you worship government. Okay, that's going on in China right now with the Falun Gong, what they're doing with their organ harvesting programs. Okay, that's what's coming. If we don't put a stop to this stuff, it's got to start here. America is the last bastion of freedom. You got to understand we're at war. The District of Columbia is making war on you under the Commerce Clause with a plenary dictatorship. Plenary means total. It's dictatorship, the plenary clause. Plenary dictatorship under the Commerce Clause. No corporation is staying to say anything to any man or woman. It's all coming from the Roman cult and their systematic use, which is a usufruct. Use is short for usufruct. It's all fraud and deception and necromancy, okay? It's all satanic. This is all satanic, what's going on. It's time to wake up, folks. This is a war of good versus evil. Corporations have been enthroned in an area of corruption in high places will follow. And that's Abraham Lincoln, April 21st, 1864. And that's what that's saying is fascism, okay? We're a fascist country is what we are. And it's all corporate rule, and it's fascism. I believe the banking institutions are more dangerous to our liberties than standing armies. If the American people ever allow the private banks to control the issue of their currency, first by inflation, then by deflation, the banks and corporations that will grow up around the banks will deprive the people of all property until their children wake up homeless on the continent their fathers conquered. Well said, Thomas Jefferson, and that's exactly what's happening right now. And so we need to work together and put a stop to this stuff. So safe conduct violations are a felony. You use their own codes against them, okay? And that's one thing I've learned is they never, ever, ever follow their own codes. You use their own codes against them and you break it off in their ass. And you don't tell them it's coming. You let them find out the hard way. Build a case against them, file criminal complaints against them, get the FBI to go over there and educate them. Okay, I think that's about it. Thanks for watching. This was a short one today. So thanks for watching and have a great day. And watch out for the next one. Have a great day.